And here, of course, are our flying ninja squirrels. Haha. And hello, all you folks out there in YouTube land. Lord Crocker Squirrel here with Mr. Opal Dragon. Our flying ninja
Hello,
squirrel.
everybody.
And I'm getting kind of an echo. Someone's got a. Hello, all you folks out there in YouTube. Yep, there I am. All right. Jacopi Lorenzetti, is that right?
Jacopo Lorenzetti. Yes, hi. Hello, everyone.
We'll just call him Jay for right now.
Yes, do it. It's okay.
And Jay here is the developer of a game called Dungeon Dreams. Welcome to Review the Developer. All right. So how you doing today, Jay?
I'm fine. I'm excited to be here, and also thank you for playing. For finding the time to try out the game.
Oh, you have no idea. I sank a couple of dozen hours into that game rather quickly, and that's something I rarely have the time to do, let alone being prompted to make time to do that. I know we played Azure Dreams for what, 2.5 hours a couple of weeks ago.
I saw the video. Mm-hmm.
That poor bastard, I swear. Nope, I actually used my first run copy of Azure Dreams on a PlayStation 3 to do that.
Okay.
So yeah, I have all that hardware. This is actually, but what you guys are seeing on the stream now is actually was the thumbnail for that stream, for that live stream.
Yes, and I recognize the art because the ones on the left are the original characters, and the ones on the right are the ones I had made from our artists in the Dungeon Dreams style, and they also grew up a bit. It's been around, what was it, 30 years maybe? No, 20 years since Azure Dreams was published.
I want to say the game was released in 97. So
maybe 98, something like that. Yes.
All I could really tell you is the game is that game disc is old enough to vote everywhere.
That's right.
It's old enough to
That's
go.
right, it is.
It's old enough in the United States to go down to bar and get wasted.
Yeah, if from this standpoint, the girl in the picture, especially on the right side, she looks quite nice to be 46 or something.
Yeah, I know. Right? Actually, I think I'm actually thinking that most of the characters are between. I want to say they're 15 all the way up to, I think 19 was the oldest one.
In Azure Dreams or in Dungeon Dreams?
In Azure Dreams.
Yes, yeah. I'm obsessed with Azure Dreams. It's my favorite game ever. I have 3 guidebooks, and they are in Japanese, and I spend all my days with Google Translate just trying to understand everything, all the lore about the game.
Oh,
and
wow.
Yes, all the characters are... The protagonist is 15.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was playing this game, I was 13 myself, and he was, 15, felt like a grown man by then. And now he's just 15, and all the girls are between 14 and 16, except Vivian, the dancer girl, the older one. She's 19.
Yeah.
And so she's still really young, but she looks like a full-grown woman. I mean, she does, but they're so young.
When you really stop and think about it, every society has its age of majority, and a lot of people, I think, would be kind of disturbed by the age of the protagonist and the fact that and some of the adult things he might get up to if it was that kind of game. It is fortunately for our protagonist not quite that kind of game, but seriously, the all of the fun romance options that went with that game. I've actually seen a couple of them in Dungeon Dreams.
Yes.
Our faux fur, if you'll remember fur,
Yes,
was
of
actually
course. The shopkeeper.
was actually the first one.
Yes, my favorite girl in Azure Dreams was Fur that first time, and maybe then Selfie because of her looks. Selfie is the one in the picture, and I put a character called Nina in Dungeon
I
Dreams.
remember Nina.
Which is
Nina was cute. I like Nina. She's also, if I remember right, Nina was our 14-year-old girl.
In Dungeon Dreams, well, just to make sure, all the characters in Dungeon Dreams are 18 and above. Just why
Well,
not?
no, I was talking about Azure Dreams, but yeah.
Okay, yes. So that's Fur. They're all the same age, and she's the one at the shop. She's really young as well. So yes, she's the one who is obsessed with money, with gold, and if you sell a lot of stuff, she will like you. Otherwise, she won't. So that's like how it works.
Yeah, I actually wound up being kind of silly with that.
Yeah, to be honest, maybe if I played Azure Dreams now, I wouldn't like it so much because it's a simple game with a lot of fun stuff. But back then I was so young, and it blew my mind with this idea of a town that was changing and growing, and you could live there. And all the characters, I also like all the drawings. So that's obviously my main inspiration for making Dungeon Dreams. But it's not the only one. If you played some of the RPGs from the PS1 era, you will see some Easter eggs here and there. For example, I'm a huge fan of Saga Frontier, which was one of my favorite games.
I saw it.
And well, some Thousand Arms, a really niche Atlus game, which also had some dating sim elements. And well, really a lot of PS1 games. I just put some Easter eggs here and there.
Actually, if there was an RPG, for PlayStation, I probably played it.
Yeah, yes, there was a lot of RPGs on PlayStation 1, really.
Oh yeah,
a lot of good ones. Breath of Fire, for example. Very nice game.
Really wish they were doing more of them for PS4, though.
Yeah, I have to agree. The number of RPGs, our classic style RPGs, is getting weak in favor for first-person shooter type ones or League of Legends type ones.
Maybe in the indie market for computer, you can still find some good titles, but I think consoles are more oriented towards a different business model. So maybe online playing, in-app purchases.
We're talking about major publishers mostly for that sort of thing. So they're more and more pushing the idea of games as a service as opposed to actually building out a game like Dungeon Dreams, where you can just dive in and just kind of wander around and have fun.
Almost like, for me, RPGs were all the different types. Everything from Dragon Quest to Shining Force to you name it. They were living books. They were they were beyond books. I did like to read as a kid, but I have to admit, when you got in and you could control the dialogue or advance the dialogue based off of going to this person versus going out and battling monsters, or when you just want to mull over things, you grind or whatever. That's for me what they were. Would you say that's much the same for you, Jay? There.
Yeah, I think I really like about RPGs is when you have choices, and you can actually from the really basic ones, like I like this character and not this other one, or really choices when you can affect the game world. I really love it. I think some games still do this. For example, the BioWare games, like Dragon Age, Mass Effect, they still have this feeling that you can actually make choices that matter, and I really love it. And some other times, it's just they make you feel that you are the leading character, but then you are like just put on some trails, and they just push you, and you don't really make any choice at all. And so
that reminds me of something I saw once. Oh, right. The ending of Deus Ex Mankind Divided. Oh, wow. That shit was painful.
Well, I had this same feeling with. Do you guys play? Final Fantasy? Maybe the 13, Final Fantasy 13.
Final Fantasy 13.
The one with
yeah. Right about the time they did Final Fantasy 10, they got pretty hallway syndrome, and they really need to not do that for the next one.
Yeah.
So
Go on.
the 13 was just like a sequence of maps. You had no choice at all. I really liked the design, the characters, it was really, the effects were great, but story-wise and gameplay-wise, I just felt like you were on the same road, just fight, then move to the end of the map, then another fight, then you start over. And I think that they understood that it was quite bad, so they made an open world installment called Final Fantasy 13 Lightning Returns. So that's I wanted to make a game more like the open world one. I know that my game is only set in a single city, so it can be called open world, but maybe we can call it open city or something, because you can do anything you want.
Is this a hint for what you're planning next? That you're going to try and take this to an open world type?
I really would like to. The world of Dungeon Dreams actually goes beyond the town of Ekalia, because I also have characters who are leaving the town to go to faraway cities.
Yeah,
that
mage kid called Rogue.
Yeah, he's from the Magic Academy, for example, which is another city. And by the way, this character is the name and the background of the character is a tribute to Saga Frontier, where you have this mage called Rouge, and he's also exiled from this magic kingdom. But by the way, it's just an Easter egg. And I would like to expand.
I was going to ask you, like, if you're planning to do a second one, are you going to follow the same? Are you same formula? Are you planning to take inspiration from other sources? Like, I know I don't know if you have seen anime at all, but there was one anime that, in a weird way, almost mirrors your game, as in that it's a dungeon one. And I think it was. Is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon?
It's Danmachi. That's right. It's called Danmachi or something. I used to read a lot of manga when I was in high school. It was quite some time ago. When I posted my the first public post about Dungeon Dreams was in an Italian RPG making forum, and everybody was telling me, you are drawing inspiration from Danmachi, and I had no idea what it was. So I was checking online, and yes, I mean that manga is completely similar to my game. But honestly, I made Dungeon Dreams in 2007, so I'm telling everybody I did not copy that much, because I came first. I did it first, and I was copying Azure Dreams, by the way, which was in 1998.
Yeah. All right.
So yes, speaking about my future plans, as of now, maybe you already know, I could make Dungeon Dreams because I was founded on Kickstarter last year, and thanks to the Kickstarter funds, I also got some extra money, which allowed me to put in some extra effort, and I unlocked a stretch goal, which will be the mobile version.
Right.
And most of all, another stretch goal, which is an alternate version where you have a female main character.
Ooh, that could be fun.
Yes, and that will take me a lot of work, because everything is connected in Dungeon Dreams. So if you have a companion instead of another, I have to check all the dialogue in all the location, because maybe somebody will comment on that, or they have opinions on it. And so imagine if you have a female character. Well, first of all, I have to search for all the dialogue and change on all the pronouns from he to she, and that's something.
Oh no! That's just a search and replace function. Believe me, I've done the whole male-female swappable protagonist thing. Yeah, it's kind of a pain in the ass, but it does work.
Yes, but RPGMaker doesn't allow me to do like in Pages on Word, like a multiple substitution. I have to do it manually every time I search for dialogue. But that's okay. I don't mind doing it. The real challenge is to provide a different, slightly, because the same game, but a slightly different experience. So you are a girl now. You enter the city, and people will treat you differently. So,
Well, yeah.
like for example, now you are with a male protagonist. You can be buddies with a few people, and maybe if you are a female protagonist, some guys will try to hit on you instead of just asking you to be partners in crime. So that's the next big step. On Kickstarter, I said I would release it between this year in September or October, and I want to stand by my deadlines because I try to be professional. so I will publish it around September, October, and we'll see.
Speaking of, I'm actually kind of curious here. Opal, are you the one with the sound?
I shouldn't be.
Okay. Actually, there was a thing I was looking at, and that's actually the price point. You know what I forgot? You know what? I'm a silly, and I'm on top of that. I'm silly. I forgot to start the video. There we go.
I was gonna just tell them I wouldn't worry too much about the community. I mean, like, if you're open and honest with the community and tell them, just hey, I'm sorry, it's just gonna have to be at the state. I really apologize. I think you might find that the community is quite forgiving and even quite adaptable. There's been a couple games. Well, the biggest one I have to say, and this one I'll give a tip of the hat to Nintendo to, when it came to Metroid Prime 4, when they came out and just blatantly announced that, we have to redo everything from scratch, it was like the whole community was very welcoming of that. They're just like, okay, we understand. And so I wouldn't worry too much about that as long as you're open and honest with the community. I know a lot of devs have given the impression that the gaming community has been very hostile to them. But
no, not in my case. If I have to describe this is the first game I am selling professionally on Steam. It's been a couple of months, and if I have to describe the community, the first word that comes into my mind is helpful. It's really helpful because through people's feedback, even though I had like maybe 10, 15 beta testers during the last year doing a lot of heavy work, it's never enough. So now I have a lot of feedback I can learn from. I am updating the game every month, maybe multiple times a month if necessary. So I'm just trying to provide a fun experience, and I'm listening to everybody. You can see I'm trying to be active on the forums. I'm a little less active on Discord because that requires me to be standing in front of the screen for more time, while other things I can do when traveling. So
yeah, I think you probably got enough on your plate without quite that.
Sorry?
I said you probably got enough going on there without quite that much.
Yes. No, I'm happy. I'm satisfied, and it's really you can imagine probably as gamers. You come up with your own world. You make a game, and then you have people living in your world for a while, commenting how they're doing with meeting your characters and developing relationships. So it's really nice to read what people is doing, and it's even funnier when people is trying to understand the little secrets you put in your game. For example, I don't know how you in Dungeon Dreams, if you do certain choices, you can have this really weak recruitable character, which is a slime, like the one which is on the video right now. Well, it's blue, but it's the same one. You have really specific choices because it's a branching story. It's a character. It's about a character who's been cursed into living in a book, and you have to free this character, and you have to avoid that other people will take the slime instead of you. But if you do it, you win slime, and since one player somehow unlocked the slime, you have to see how the community was passionate about finding the secret, about having the slime in your party. Like it's the biggest thing ever.
Actually, you know what? I'm a little more curious about that about the purple-haired girl that I scout girl that
Fiona.
I dug up and got and was headhunted by the Vincent. I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, it's Fiona, the one with the daggers.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, it's the one that was. I believe that's her. It's the one that we have in the thumbnail.
Yeah, she's the kind of the poster girl for the game. In the original design of the game, the one from 12 years ago, she was supposed to be like the canon love interest for the main character. Now I have dropped the canon thing because there is no canon. I mean, everybody can just write their own story. Maybe she will be the most popular, but it's not even sure. Actually, as of now, I have no idea who is the girl, the love interest who is most liked. I have my preferences, but I can see it's really maybe the waitress, because she's the one who is.
Actually, you know what I like? I actually like that one. That, and I've managed to get her really annoyed at Vincent. There are a couple.
Nice character. She
there
has
are
a couple
of things I noticed, in that the back and forth in some scenes would make things. It looks like you've almost got a word by word association with the original game. For example, like the wind crystals.
Okay, yes, it's full of tributes with Azure Dreams. The only challenge was to find things that wouldn't be a problem on copyright, on the copyright issue.
Yeah, well,
It's a crystal. It's a crystal of wind, so nobody can blame me on that, right?
Yeah, I know, right?
If you buy this is a fun thing. No, I don't think nobody noticed this yet, but you know that in Dungeon Dreams you can buy furniture to expand your house. You can buy bookshelves, you can buy a kitchen, you can cook things, for example. And if you buy a bookshelf, there are two types of bookshelf: the big one and the small one.
Yep.
When you click on the bookshelf, you can get some random messages about random books, and some books are direct references to Azure Dreams.
Yeah.
But I never said the name of anyone. For example, the story about a boy with red hair in a town in the desert. No names, no nothing. It's just a clean Easter egg, because I am deadly afraid of being, I don't know, maybe receiving a lawsuit from Konami or anything.
Yeah,
I don't want that.
You know what? Konami is Konami, and Konami is the worst. Releasing it now. We're talking about back when Konami was good. The Suikoden games, loved those. Same with Azure Dreams. There was a lot of games that I liked out of Konami.
Suikoden was amazing.
Oh yeah.
Or I don't know how you spell it in English. Suikoden maybe, but that was a great game.
I believe it or not, I have a complete set of Suikoden games. You think I'm kidding? I'm not. Good. There's 5 of them. I have them all.
Yeah. Do you have also the Suikoden visual novel, Genso Suiko Gaiden, which was released only in Japan, but there are some fan made translations here and there.
Yeah,
it's a visual novel, but
I've actually got 2 translations for that one, and I also have Suikoden tags.
Really? Okay, respect.
No, Suikoden was actually one of my very favorite games. Most of the games that I really liked came out of Konami during that time period.
Me too. My favorite Suikoden is probably Suikoden the second Suikoden. But I also really like Suikoden 1.
I've actually found Suikoden, the first Suikoden game. It was I found it considerably more varied, and I really hated what happened to poor Gremio.
Yeah. I didn't save him in my first playthrough, and that was bad.
Well, you know
And in
what?
the second
Honestly,
one, don't save the
I didn't
sister.
actually get. It took me what 10 or 12 playthroughs over 2 decades to finally manage to get poor Gremio back.
No, I confess, after my first playthrough, the second one, I was using gamefacuse.com, so I could find everything. I'm not ashamed.
Innocent whistling goes on. Yeah. Yeah, innocent whistling. I don't know nothing. I've never seen that page. Nope. Wouldn't touch it for the world.
Never heard about it.
How long is your nose growing, squirrel?
It's about ready to break the window in front of me. It's pretty bad. This blonde mercenary guy that we're seeing on the screen right here, he asks for quite a bit of money, especially at low levels.
This guy. Okay, sorry, I'm a bit late. He's Rudy. And by the way, Rudy's name comes from another PS1 RPG, which is called Wild Arms.
Yep, I actually.
Wild Arms.
You're gonna.
Yes,
you're
one
gonna
of the
hate
main
me.
characters.
You're gonna hate me because I have a full set of those too.
There are so many Wild Arms games, by the way. I think they have 5 main games, and there was Wild Arms XF for the PSP, which was a tactical RPG.
Got a copy of that. Took me a while to beat it, but I have a copy.
No, that's amazing. That's amazing.
And then there was a rebuild of the original Wild Arms called Alter Code F. Got that one too.
Wow. Okay, I never even heard about it.
Alter Code F actually it worked better for me than the original, but I still kicked I still did all sorts of really fun things with the original way back in the day. Like I said, if there's an RPG that was released between, I want to say 1991, 1992, and well, actually 87, I think is the and 2000 and I want to say 7. I probably got it somewhere.
Great. Okay. Later, maybe I will test you on this. I will read some names, and we will see maybe if you have my favorite games. Okay. Wait. Another game I really liked, Xenogears, from PS1.
Yep. I actually have that one on my Vita right now.
Great game. Really.
The final boss, though. I wanted to hurt some people over that final boss. Damn, that thing was nasty.
No, nice game. So yeah, I have this character called Rudy. He really, all the players on Steam really like Rudy, but I don't know if it's about his character type. So he's a nice guy, he's a friend and everything, or maybe because he's a secret class. Because every character can unlock a special class, and his secret class is quite powerful. So I don't know if people like him because he's nice or because he's a strong companion.
Or because he's completely overpowered. I don't know. I never actually bothered giving him the 250 to try it.
Actually, if you are a mage, if you are your main character is a mage, he will give you a discount.
Really?
Yeah, and this is because mostly for game balancing thing. Because a mage will be weaker and will die more easily in the dungeon in his first runs.
We tend to refer to those critters as squishy.
Squishy mages, and I love being mages.
I don't know. The scout was actually pretty squishy too.
So yes, I decided to make a discount. There are some extra help here and there. For example, a discount on potions to balance things if you start as a mage. But not so many differences, because if you progress as a mage, you have some benefits. For example, you can get a strong item that will reduce MP consumption, which is very good if your protagonist is a mage. So that's just in the beginning some differences. A discount on potions, Rudy will be giving discounts, and maybe a couple conversation and extra help here and there. But it's small things, small details. Just saying.
There is actually there's a couple significant differences between Azure Dreams and this that I was kind of curious about. I know in Azure Dreams, if you go out of the dungeon, you reset to level 1, but your monsters don't. And you lose all of your shit if you die in there. All of it, regardless of circumstance. Here, you get to keep the gear that you're equipped with, and your levels. And I'm not sure. Was there some reason to make that change, or aside from the fact that you have no monsters?
I think this makes more sense in a game where you have companions and everybody who goes in a dungeon is a human or an elf. So if every character always drops their level to 1, this game will be much more different to play, and also it's based on it kind of feels, I mean, that's my vision, as an multiplayer online RPG. Like, you have this city and there are some players who are stronger than you, for example Grant, the one with the protagonist rival. So they are more powerful than you, and you are a new player and you're getting stronger. So level progression gives you the feeling that you are getting stronger.
Right.
If everybody just reverts to level 1, I don't know, it didn't feel right. So I want to leave it at this, and I think it's better. It will be much more difficult if every time you are at the same level, and maybe you can just upgrade the equipment or something. I don't know. I don't think it would work. Not like this.
Well, I'm not sure. Well, there was also the matter of monsters that retained their levels in Azure Dreams. So that was. I'm not sure how that would how well that would work out with gaining and resetting levels for one side and not for one group of credits and not the other.
Exactly.
That would be.
Because
I
these are
think
monsters.
that would be a tech difficulty in RPGMaker.
But I could do it, but not in Dungeon Dreams, because they are all humans. So it's not like, like, I don't know, boys drop their level and girls don't. I mean, how do I decide that? It's either everybody or no one.
Honestly, I'm thinking if you put the whole Monster Tamer thing in there, it might have been a little too on the nose.
Yeah. Yes, I think this is not a monster taming game. That's not. It's inspired by Azure Dreams, but the aim is not to have Azure Dreams the second.
Right.
Okay, my secret dream is to be contacted by Konami and to make Azure Dreams second, too. But of course, I'm not going to do that.
Well,
this is just
I don't think that would happen. I think
no.
I think what's going on here is that you got. Well, to be perfectly honest with you, most of their best IP is just gone.
Yes.
They still own the rights to the IP, but they're not doing anything with it. They won't come off it. I actually sent them a note asking them if I could asking them to borrow to let me beg borrow or steal the license for Suikoden, and they said nope, not going to happen. We are not in the habit of licensing out our IP, and it's like, what?
Yeah, so that's not happening. So yes, Dungeon Dreams is inspired by Azure Dreams, and of course I love it, but it's a different game with a different design. No monsters. Yes, there is romance, but it's a different kind of romance. You can also get married here, for example, and I think the town also feels different, because honestly, you have more things to do in the town than in the dungeon.
Quite a bit bigger.
Dungeon Dreams.
Back to the video for a second. It looks like it's not going to be too much longer before the poor bastard gets whacked. Yeah, that's.
But you get stronger every time, so let's see. Almost.
As a mage, I managed to figure out how to use the rest feature to slow on lower levels to like weaker levels to recharge you before you went on to the next level.
But actually sometimes I know in lower levels it's a really small percentage, but sometimes it will give you those little extra magic, so you can launch your last spell and save your ass.
Yeah, well, I actually turned out to be really bad at the whole saving my own ass thing. You have the first with the first.
Are you running in this video? Because you know, if you hold down Shift, you can run.
Yeah, I know, but it doesn't really. I actually tend not to think about it, to be honest.
Well, that's really
okay, I didn't actually die this trip in. I died the previous trip in, apparently. Because I wound up, because I grabbed that wind crystal, and here in a little bit, I think I'm actually going to use it.
There it is. There it is.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I figured out I wasn't going to be able to avoid that bad of the thing behind me, so I grabbed the on. I decided it was time to get out. I don't know. There's actually, speaking of wind crystals, I know there was one floor that I found with the other character, or with my scout character, and I found like 5 or 6 wind crystals on one floor. I think it was like floor 6. I found like 5 wind crystals all right near each other. I'm guessing the actual loots are completely randomized.
Yes, this specific case is randomized. Sometimes you will find special floors, unique floors, like there are some monster villages, for example.
Yeah, the Dark Elf Village. I found that one.
Yeah, you found it. There's some cool stuff you can do there. There is an arena, there is a shop, and there is a character you can recruit later in the game. There are over 20 characters, by the way, recruitable characters.
Nice. Well, I think I've actually run into most of them. You know what? I don't think I'd recruit Grant regardless of what I did. And if I have to play as a female character, I'm going to stomp that boy hard. He's going down. Can't stand that guy. But then, to be honest with you, I couldn't understand. I couldn't stand Ghosh much either. So.
Yeah, I'm really proud of how can I say how an asshole he sounds and looks all the time. I think I did a good job. You can really hate the guy. Some people I read in Discord that they were always saying about like if you join Discord you have to hate Grant, otherwise you can't stay here.
Despising Grant is despising Grant's a spectator sport. I don't know what the hell dropping that log off the side there was good for, but I found it. It was there, so I
yes.
it.
Another thing, you will find things in logs, and on the bridge there is a log that you can throw down the bridge just for fun.
The thing that just happened in the video. I don't know what actually winds up happening with that.
Okay. Because I am a bit. I think I'm a few seconds in delay than you. Okay, now he's pushing it down. Yes. Okay, and. Yes, and actually, later in the game, if you did push it, you will find it. Because at some point, the river will dry up a little. So in the beach, you can walk further. And if you throw the log earlier, you can find it there, under the water in the beach.
And then figure out, and then maybe we'll find out what's in it.
Yes, the entire economy of the town is based on trunks generating loot, so you can find things.
Yeah, the wind crystal back behind the church. I never quite figured out why anybody would leave one of those there, or does that thing regenerate? Probably not.
No, that's fixed. That's always there. That's also to help new players, because especially in the early ages when I was testing the game. Most people are complaining about dying a lot and not finding crystals, so I wouldn't want the player to get bored or annoyed before really getting into the game. Mm-hmm. So I added a wind crystal here. You can some extra presents, like Rouge will give you one if you say goodbye to him when he leaves, and there is also another wind crystal maybe at the Carpenters, so that helps.
If there is one, I never found it.
Maybe it spawns later. No, I don't remember. I will have to check. Hey, actually, I can check right now because I have the game open.
As soon as I get my new card in, I'll have to go in and try and find it myself. Go track down.
I know I'm going to be looking for it this afternoon.
Yes, the wind crystal. You can find the wind crystal. There is a Yeah, it's the far right at the carpenter's shop.
Mm-hmm.
You can just click on the drawer and you can find a wind crystal.
Ah.
But maybe there is a 75% chance, maybe. Just a quick look now that you can find it.
Or that
Anyway.
it's to be found, or if it's to be found. What is that for? Like respawn and whatnot?
No, it's just daily. Like each day, you have this 70% that you can click and actually find it, and then after you found it, it's empty.
Oh, and then we have that. Then we have this particular dream in here. This is actually the second. This is actually the second one I found. Believe it or not, there's a couple
Okay,
of these. There's at least two of these dream
Yes.
sequences.
No, there is almost 10, maybe 8 or 9 dreams, and they vary on the choices you make. For example, this is the one when you dream of the guild, but it's not the guild, it's dancers and weird things. Okay.
And Grant claiming that he's a girl.
But no, it's your dreams, so the characters are, you're projecting what you want in characters. And yeah, there are several dreams here and there. For example, you got this really early in the game.
Yes.
But if you get it later, there are some chairs are taken, and you have some more characters here and there, and what they say is based on your interactions with them.
Right.
Wow, cool. You put a lot of work into this.
Yeah, I like this kind of things. I told you, I like the variety, being able to influence the game with your little choices. So I wanted this game to be like that.
I noticed.
Also, for example, later
there were some black spots in there where there was just nothing, and it's still and the wall is still solid or the floor or whatever, but you.
Yeah, but the idea is that it's a dream, so your mind is not imagining completely the layout and everything. You know how in dreams usually you can't see everything, or you can see the faces of people sometimes. That's what they say. Mm-hmm. So this is a dream, and also in dreams, the landscape sometimes isn't finished. That's the reason. And there is another dream, which is the background is just the galaxy. That's it. And you're walking in the galaxy, and you can meet a character who has left your party permanently, because there is a character who can get lost in the dungeon.
Oh.
And if you lose them later, you dream about him and you meet him in your dreams. But my favorite dream, have you seen the movie? Is it called Being John Malkovich?
You know the. Yes.
I know, but I haven't seen it.
Okay, basically, and really, I don't know. Can I spoil you a couple of details from the movie, or
go for it?
So basically, it's a crazy movie. The concept is that there is a specific building, and if you go to a specific floor, you get inside John Malkovich's brain, like the actor, and you can control him like a puppet. Okay, and at some point of the movie, John Malkovich himself will enter the building and enter this floor. So he enters his own mind, and it's like this big restaurant room where everybody has the face of John Malkovich. So it's infinite copies of him. So I put this Easter egg in my game, which technically in my editor it's called John Malkovich room or something like that. So you have like this little village with a lot of characters, everyone with the face of the main character, and you are talking around. You like have you?
Oh, I've
like,
been in there.
You've been there. Yeah, so you have animals in the fence. And instead of having sheep in the fence, you have your main character running around like an animal, and so that's it. That's the idea. It's based from that movie. That's it.
That was the other one I'd seen. I was like, what? And I was half expecting that to turn up again. I'm like, wait a minute, what the hell?
You were lucky. You were lucky because they are really the percentage is small, but you found a couple of the nice ones. Then there is another one when you find yourself under a waterfall, and it's like this paradise setting, with flowers and everything, and you have all the girl characters wearing bikinis.
Oh, I want to see that one.
And also Grant is standing there in his swimsuit, wearing a Speedo.
No!
I know, right?
Now, I'm kind of actually this scene I'm looking at here. It'll be about 30 seconds for you. Dark-skinned guy hanging out there in front of the dungeon. Is he likely to go with you at that particular moment in time or not?
Macbeth. Is it in the video now?
He should be in the video here shortly.
It'll be coming up soon.
Okay. Yes. That guy is in Macbeth, in Grant's team. So he's like the only mage in this team of warriors, and he's almost a nice guy in the beginning, instead of even though he's really powerful. And so he will give the player some advice. There is also a chance that you meet him in the dungeon later at floor 8, maybe 7 or 9. And he will give you some pointers if you want to raise a good mage character. So he will help you, and that's kind of what he does. And later in the game, you can have some moments with him. You can develop a small friendship, even though I don't think anybody found a way to do it yet. But he will never actively join. You can have him as a guest party member at least 3 times, but none of them is mandatory. Actually, almost nothing is mandatory because you can do everything you want. But there are 3 quests when you can recruit him just for a fight. That's it. That's about him. So he's a minor character. Okay. Because this is what a minor character does in Dungeon Dreams. He still can be somehow relevant to a player.
I did actually manage to recruit Cecily.
You did it?
Yep, I did that one. That was on the other one. We had to get down to, what was it, level 7 before she walked.
Yes.
Step away from her studies so that she could. Actually, more or less before she'd even give me the time of day, to be honest.
No, she is one of the. Maybe she's the second mage you can obtain in the game, and she's the first healer, so she's quite important.
Well, I don't even know who the first mage was.
Well, there's this guy. You can meet him only if you work at the inn. So if you don't work there, it's because he is there. He's working there. So you never get a chance to meet, and you may not meet the character. But it's okay because it's impossible to find every character in a single playthrough. It really is.
Oh, I'm sure somebody will find a way.
Yeah. Don't underestimate your the player base.
No, it's true. I've been surprised also. As I was telling you earlier before the stream, I am really amazed at what people is saying on the forums. For example, there is already a quite complete guide from a player who found out a lot of things, and he played for more than 300 hours the game. So yes, I have the feeling that all the secrets will be public domain quite soon.
Juggernaut,
but
there he is.
Maybe not. I'm some things that will be really hard to find. So we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, some devs have been successful at hiding things from their player base, but yeah, you'd be surprised at what player bases can find.
Yes,
I have been consistently amazed at what. I have been consistently amazed at that at that kind of.
I agree.
Paladin, defender classes, blah blah blah. Ooh. I'm actually looking at the hidden classes list at the moment over on Steam.
You're looking, yes. Let's see. Let's look together. That's user BNFA.
Yep.
Let's see. I can tell you live if you found something wrong. Okay, I remember this one, but unfortunately, he didn't update it in a while. There are some. It's just 12 characters, so maybe it's half. Wait, let me count how many characters you can recruit. Because I don't remember. Allora, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
I don't even know who Ark is.
Okay, I will say 23 recruitable characters, or maybe 24. I don't know. Maybe I counted another one. And there are also 5 characters that will join you temporarily, and also you can summon characters. The necromancer can summon 3 characters, which basically you can customize with skills and everything, so it's characters, but only if you have a necromancer. Ark is that's the guy I was telling you, the mage. You can only meet Ark if you work at the inn, and you have to be quick because after a certain point in the game, the woman at the inn will stop asking for work. So
okay.
There are a couple time sensitive things, but it's really just a minor. I just wanted to put a few things that don't wait for the player, just to give the idea that it's a living world. But most quests do not. Even those who will say meet me tomorrow morning to do this. Actually, you can go there even 2 or 3 mornings after, and nothing will happen, because that will make the game too hard to manage everything at the exact time. So it's not really. And then there is this guide, the Dungeon Dreams guide by Jargonaut, which is very, very detailed. And it's working daily. For example, it was updated today.
Oh, cool. That's even better. Jigsaw puzzles? Wow.
Oh.
It's really long, right?
Yeah, it is. Well, that's good.
Yes, the tutoring game. God, that made that wow.
Yeah, that I was so the tutoring part was it's from my own life because in 2007 I was a university student, and I was tutoring kids for money. So probably it influenced me. So I need to do something in my game. I need to find out some mini game. Okay, let's just say that you have to tutor the pub's owner kid just for some gold. So I think I put some of my own personal experience into that, and that's why there is a tutoring game in an RPG. But I tried my best. I understand that maybe some of the mini games aren't very original, or maybe not all the mini games are fun, but I wanted to make it so that every job has its own mini game.
Right.
You will not find a job without a specific playable section. I really wanted everything to be playable. So if you go tutoring, okay, you play the tutoring. If you go swimming, there is a mini game where you can diving mini game. So I try to make everything, that you can leave every single aspect of the game. It sounds silly, I know it's just a game, but maybe that's my idea.
Oh, Dantien, she ran off in my first game. She ran off and didn't come back. I'm kind of wondering what it takes to get her back.
Wait, did you complete her quest when you have to hunt the Hokumo, the weapon dealer?
Yeah, I did finish that one. She left afterwards.
But she does leave because she has ties with the Merchants Guild, so she has to go back for business to lock the bad guy in prison, and then you have to wait some time, and she will be back.
Oh, cool.
Unless you really left in mean terms, like you insulted her or something
Why
like
would
that. But
nobody
that's
wanna do
really,
that?
I don't really think it's possible. I don't remember. But generally, she goes away. That's a fact. And then she will come back, and you can recruit her. Actually, she's a interesting character because she's in the warrior tree, but she has this stats more similar to a scout. So she's very fast, but with less strength.
Right.
So maybe maybe somebody can find a use for a character like this. For example, maybe with some passive skills, she can be really fast with good attack. And also, she looks good, so
Yeah.
she's cute, blood and everything. She has her own romance story, and where you can help her find. I mean, she used to be an artist, and then she stopped drawing because she became a fighter, and you can help her discover her artistic side and everything. So, if you are into that type of character, she's marriable, marriage material.
Ooh, that's even better. Because that's why I was honest. I'll be honest with you. I was kind of hoping for that.
In my first playthrough, she was the one. She was the one because I don't know. My wife is blonde as well, so I like blondes. And so she was the one. One of my friends who also was beta testing the game. He liked her, but in the end, she's from a very rich family in the capital, so she will come out a bit as a little snobbish. For example, when you live together, you can ask your girl if she wants to clean around the house, and she's not used to cleaning, so she won't like it because she had a maid back in her home, and that's just the type of girl she is. And if you put Dantien in the same party as Fiona, they will argue most of the time because they are completely different people. Dantien was a upper class girl, rich, cultured, sophisticated, and Fiona was basically a gypsy. She was living with her father, traveling all the time, fishing, eating fish. That's about it. So they disagree on almost everything. So it's impossible to keep an active romance with both, I think, especially if you take them to the dungeon. If you never have them meet, maybe you do a dungeon dive with one, a dungeon with the other, then maybe you can. But at the end, you will have to choose someone. I mean, if you want to you can only marry one girl in this game. Well, in most games. Well, I mean, in most countries.
Yeah. Well, actually, we don't have very many of those we could do anyway. So.
Have any become your favorite that have differed from what you originally thought would be your favorite? Or
excellent question. Very good, Mr. Opal.
Yeah, there are some characters. For example, there is a recruitable scout called Dart, a guy, yellow clothes with blue hair. And usually, I just add. Okay, I need one more scout. It was one of the first characters I added in the first part of the developing, and I later, as I was writing the dialogue for this character, I started really liking this, even though it's not usually the type of character that I like. It's like the guy who is your friend, but you are ashamed of having him as a friend because he's always making the dirty jokes and maybe he's playing with knives and you don't want him around, but you kind of need him around. So I really liked writing all his lines because it's really funny. Like if I need some dirty joke or some play about death, knives, girls, dirty things, I always make it sure that he's the one who's saying it. So that's a character I really enjoy spending play time with. And on the girls' side, maybe, well, after I got the art done, I changed a lot of my ideas because one thing is to see it in your mind and maybe in the thumbnail, the RPGMaker face. Then you call the artist and you ask them to draw a new character for you, well, that will change everything. For example, I think Jane looks really cool, but Jane arrives later in the game, so maybe you haven't seen her yet. She was actually in the video because you meet her when you enter the inn for the first time, and she just tells you to move because she has to leave. It's a girl with a red clothes, a bow, and long blue hair, and well, let's just say a huge couple of characteristics, you know. Yeah. Okay, huge boobs. I have language barriers here.
Don't worry about it.
No problem.
It's all good.
In Italy, we could say she has an important balcony or something like that.
A nice. I like to refer to them as nice shelves.
Yeah, that sounds okay. Next time I will say that. So I think I like the portrait art of this character, and also the background of this girl. She's a rogue who was working for the Thieves Guild, but then she had some accident and she wanted to leave. So she comes back to Ekalia, and you meet her then. And if she decides that you are worthy of her attention, she can join you. But then the thieves will come back for her, and you get to decide what happens. So you can send her back with the thieves and you don't meet her again, or you can kill the thieves, send them away, or you can join the thieves together. So you can also join the Thieves Guild. So that's another choice you have later. And everything is optional. So meaning that if you don't like Jane, you don't want to progress in her story, okay, then you don't see anything of this. You will see something else from another character.
Right.
Every character has a quest, even the smallest ones. Most NPCs do, but mostly all the recruitable characters have their own special quest that usually will lead to something, either romance or unlocking a special class or an item. So I made sure that there is something for every character that you like. Anyway, I don't know. Dungeon Dreams, the idea was just to make a game that I really like. You know, we are all gamers, so we all say, I would like a game like this and like this and like this and like this and like this. So when I found myself making a game, it was just, I am my first client, let's say.
Well, since you're dipping into that topic, since you're starting to dip into that topic, tell us about the birth, or tell us the story about the birth of Dungeon Dreams.
Sure thing. So basically, Dungeon Dreams was born as Garden of Dreams, which was the first name of the game. And it was first made in RPGMaker 2003 in 2007. So the game, the name was different, and there was it was much more simple with less content and less characters, and it's all in Italian. And I wouldn't show it to anybody because it's too outdated now, and I'm not too proud of it. But it feels nostalgic. So maybe I will put some screens online somewhere. So if people is interested, they can see it. So I did it back then. And that was the idea. I really enjoyed Azure Dreams, and I didn't find games similar to Azure Dreams. I wanted a game that could expand on the town part of Azure Dreams, so I did this. And then what can you do? You are in university, you don't have money for anything, and you don't have time. And RPGMaker 2003, back then, I'm not even sure I could export games. Like I remember that I had to save the folder and put a patch in the folder and send the whole folder without any encryption or anything if I wanted other people to play it. Oh. So now I know that now you can also do something like that, because it was RPGMaker 2003 was released on Steam, and you can do more things with it. But RPGMaker MV was released in. Now it's been 4 years already, and maybe in 2016 I picked up RPGMaker MV during the summer. I learned how to use it again, and I remade Dungeon Dreams in a total time of maybe 2 years. I took my time. Actually, I can tell you right now, because I have the Steam version of RPGMaker, and I can tell you how many hours I spent on this program. And
We
it's
don't
really
talk
really
about how
long.
much time I spent in RPG Maker VX Ace to try and put together something,
Really?
and it never did quite go the way I wanted it to.
Okay, it's 3,512 hours.
Whoa!
Wow.
That's that's some time.
That's some dedication.
Sure, that's it. Yes, I'm really glad it never resets, because that number will haunt me for life.
Don't worry about it.
No, I'm really happy about it, and I'm doing it for the fun. As I was telling you earlier, just it's really fun to share the game with people and to have people tell you stories about their experience in the dungeon, in town. It's nice. Now, I hope one day another thing I would really like is somebody to do some fan art. That would be amazing.
Yeah, I think that would actually would be amazing.
Some people spending time to draw your characters, that would be, I don't know, such an achievement. But as of now, I'm really just happy about reading the guides and the messages, and of course also the feedback, all the criticism. I accept, or even bad feedback. It's okay, because I can learn from it and I can try to improve the game, or with future games I can do better. So
what would you say is your favorite experience about the whole, your whole adventure with creating this game? What was your favorite?
It's a hard question. The most satisfying part is this month. I released the game February 20, and the reception of the game, which was positive. So that's the most makes you feel like those 2 years, those 3,000 of hours you put in RPG Maker, they were worth something. It's like people is recognizing that your time was kind of well spent, and it feels amazing.
Well,
but also I had fun.
Always a fun thing.
All the time.
So here's one for you. What advice would you give someone that's actually that wants to start building their own game in RPG Maker?
Well, we should split the advice in 2 parts, because one is about game design and actual, let's call it, programming skills, and the other part is the most professional part. So self-marketing, funding your campaign, social media, and everything. So that's a business part. So and you don't need to be a coder for that. Dungeon Dreams is a one-man project. So it's me. I made the video for the campaign in Kickstarter. I made marketing and everything, and of course I had to pay some people, for example, for the artwork, because I'm not an artist. So if we stick to the coding part, so let's say you want to make a good game, and this selling it and distributing it will be maybe your focus later. I think it's important to practice and make some draft games. Because it's true that I made Garden of Dreams in 2007, but before that I made at least 4 games, and the world has never seen those 4 games, and this is a very good thing. But you can make some games, and because your first project will never be your best project.
Oh no!
So you can make a game, you can learn from the internet, you can study a lot. You have to study a lot to improve your skills, and to try to do something that's different from the generic RPG Maker games, because nobody will play a game which looks and is like many other games. So you can study, you can make your game, and then make another game, and then at some point you can go out in the open and show something you're proud of. I think most people will just download RPG Maker, make a game, and put it online, and that's a bad mistake. And it's it costed the reputation for the software for RPG Maker.
Well, it really depends on what somebody's got sound. I'm hearing myself.
Can't be me.
Well, anyway, so I know some people like to put their baby's first RPG Maker game on on some of the little side forums, and sometimes that helps without actually trashing somebody's reputation. Like if you put it on Steam, you're toast.
Yes. It's okay to put it on forums, for example, to ask for feedback. I've been using an Italian forum for this, and they've been really nice to me. And there are some people who are really good at coding and giving me some input about JavaScript, about everything. But I will never suggest that your first game should go on Steam, because Steam is a professional area now. It's indie games, but it needs some professionalism anyway. It's a window, it's your shop, it's kind of your curriculum. So I will never do it if I don't feel professional in a sense.
Well, I know that I played enough terrible first indie games on Steam over the course of my time doing gameplay and reviews and stuff that that's a mistake I see a lot.
Yes, and it's not good, and I will never trust a developer if they do this mistake, to be honest. I mean, they really need to get my attention again after ruining it for the first time like this. Because if you are so immature to put a game that is clearly not a polished project, and you put it online for everybody, okay, then I need to give you at least 2 or 3 years because you have my attention again. And maybe I'm just a bit too cynical, but I'm not the only one.
Well, what do you think? What do you think is the key feature that would make a project unpolished? Because like every now and then we get the odd person here who talks about making a game, and it's like and a lot of times a lot of people think it's so easy. So this is why I asked this question. What do you think generally? Because most people generally think it's the graphics. And so I want to know from your perspective and your experiences, what do you think is a key feature to making a game very unpolished?
Oh, I have an idea. Okay, my idea comes from the fact that I have played a lot of RPG Maker games, not just last generation games, because I was a reviewer from a site which was RPG2Knet, which, by the way, the site admin was called Squirrel, by the way. Yeah, he was a guy, a British guy. Wasn't me. I don't. So yes, it was it's not online anymore, but it was 2001, maybe just a few years before and after. And I was reviewing games and playing a lot of games, and I played some great, amazing games that even now, games made in RPG Maker 2000, are really, they're one among the best games I made. But other than those, of course, a lot of crappy games. And I see the same mistakes in new RPG Maker games from the new generation as the old generation. And this is basically, I think it all boils down to the concept of user experience, let's say. So basically, in some games, which I would call unpolished, you don't know where you're supposed to go. You don't know what to do. They don't tell you. Like you start in a map, maybe with some dialogue, and then it's like the developer knows that you need to go to talk to a specific character, but nothing in the game has been designed to guide you to that point. Mm-hmm. So I tried my best to put explanations, tutorials, so that you are welcomed in the game, and of course at some point they let you go and you start going. But in some games they don't think about that. They say, oh yeah, it's obvious that you have to go there. Well, no, it's not obvious, because every player is different. So you have to tell them to do things. For example, you can't, let's say you are in a map, and then you have to put you have to go out the door in the map, but the door is outside the screen, and you have to walk to the border of the screen. You have to put something on the ground, like a shadow, that will say that, okay, that's the shadow. That's where you have to go to get off the map. And maybe, okay, now it's obvious. You have to go in the corner. Okay, why the corner? Maybe somebody will think that the door is in the middle of the room. Like, for example, now in the video, I'm seeing the pawn shop. So you have the carpet on the bottom part. It's clear that you have to go there to get out. Some maps are not designed to show you where to go. Some dialogue in some games isn't clear what they want you to do. They don't give you quests. They just say that maybe you have to do things. So that's feels unpolished to me. Like, it's like you haven't been thinking on how this game will be played. I don't know if I've been clear, because I'm just talking,
No,
randomly.
go right ahead. I can follow you.
So that's my idea. That's my advice. Of course, I am nobody. Okay, I am not a big producer or anything. But if you want an advice on how to design games with tools like this, that will be the first thing I would say.
Okay, because I know I know there's a lot of people that have, they start bugging out about RPGMaker games when they're starting to see the stuff that comes out of the RTP anywhere in a game. It doesn't matter how much you're using. They start, oh, it's just generic crap.
Yes, I try not to judge a game by their looks, of course, but I can understand the feeling, especially if you are not a developer or a hardcore gamer. You will see the same looks and you will say, okay, it's the same game. Actually, for my next games, I want to customize graphics more. Especially now that I have learned more things, I have some custom assets from Dungeon Dreams, and maybe if I can get some extra funding, I can have the artist, which is a very talented artist. I can ask her to draw more things, and maybe I can distance myself from the standard. From that, I would love to do that, actually. But on the other side, graphics will never be my first thing to care about. I prefer to work on the gameplay first.
Yeah, that makes sense to me, because I know that's kind of where I wind up getting. I'm a solid writer, but I don't code worth a crap, and I'm absolutely pointless with a pencil. Give me a 3D modeler, and I'll do okay.
Yes, no. I actually I could draw when I was little. I was good, but then I stopped. So now I just leave it to the artists or to the RTP in this case. Sometimes.
Totally relate to that. I totally relate to that. I mean, the best I can do these days is textures. But here's one thing for something like when it comes to audio, what difficulty did you have between sounds and gaining music? Like, is there a lot of resources out there for devs, or is there quite a few hoops you have to jump through?
Audio.
Like,
sorry, I didn't understand. Okay.
Audio
yes.
is a game, both music and sound effects.
Actually, I love music, and I've been playing music for most of my life, so I can play music. And most of the no, this is Jane, by the way, on the screen now. Most of the music is being made by me with loops. Actually, all of the music. It's not RPGMaker music.
Really?
Yes, there is no RPGMaker. Maybe I left one song in the mini game song is not mine. Okay, a couple of songs maybe from the original RPGMaker assets, but most of the music has been made by me.
Oh.
I can play music, but in this case, I've been using live loops from Apple, so that it was a quicker, easier thing to do. But I combine all the loops by myself. I made the songs, so these are mine. Easiest way to do it. Maybe in the future I will play the music myself with the instruments, but to be honest, as I told you, that's not my priority, so that comes after everything else.
So, what actually is your strong point? If you as far as making this game, what's your strongest point? I should say.
I have no idea. I think other people should say it. It's not me. Maybe okay. Let's say maybe the fact that I was able to pull over 3,000 hours on RPG Maker. That's a strong suit, right?
How much coffee have you gone through?
I'm not sure I want to know.
Or did you just skip the bean and go straight for the caffeine?
That's amazing. I don't drink coffee.
Neither do I.
Yeah. No, I don't. So yeah, that's just, I guess, being consistent, being patient, fixing every bug, being methodical. That's a strong suit, strongest than everything else, because you can learn how to do things.
Yep, the debugging thing is always what I like to hear. What? There's a bug? Squash it! Kill it now! Kill it dead!
Especially if it buzzes.
Don't get me started on that one, I tell you.
No, I know. Bugs are terrible.
Yeah.
Great.
If there's anything you want to anything you want to talk about in particular, anything that just kind of comes to mind that
actually it's a nice chat. Thank you guys for having me. Thanks for speaking with some fellow gamers, and I'm amazed at your collection of games, by the way.
Oh yeah, it's
so yeah, to be honest, I just to anyone who's interested in the game, I just want to thank everybody, for checking it out, for buying it if necessary, and if anyone wants to review it or play it or stream it, I'm available to send promotional copies, press kits, and everything. Actually, I should send you guys a couple of copies too, so maybe you can organize a giveaway.
Yeah,
or something
actually,
like that.
I wouldn't mind doing that.
Of course,
I would like to get one for the nice lady that's usually here, and she had some issues.
Okay, of course, I will send you.
I have a copy already, so
no problem. I will send it.
I've just been annoyed. I haven't been able to play any games for the last week plus.
I know the feeling. Yes, sometimes I have a lot
our
of
little
games
Opal
just
Dragon
sitting
has
there.
been jonesing for some gaming, and
I grew up in a family of gamers, so
Okay.
I can blame my mom for being a gamer because she was the original. Not only was she the original gamer, she also fixed the some of the first consoles like the Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Genesis.
Oh, that's cool.
Well,
My first console was a Master System.
those things are actually kind of fun.
Actually, that's curious. What is your history in gaming? Since you're a game dev, were you a strong gamer before you became a game dev, or were you?
Yes, I've always been a gamer. Maybe I'm a bit selective because I still live in the PS1, PS2 era, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, no. Actually, I have a PSP and a PS Vita, and I love them.
Well, welcome to my world.
Yes, with great games, great consoles. And I have a PC and a PS3 and a Nintendo DS. That's it. But I have lots of games. I tend to be compulsive, so I have a console and I try every game I like in the console, and then maybe I upgrade to the next generation console. So I started with the Master System, the Sega Master System. You know, the one that you turn it on and you play Alex Kidd.
Yep.
And then
you're gonna love this one. Not only do I still have my Master System, it's still
way.
And I've got a copy of Phantasy Star. I break it out.
No.
Oh yeah.
I
have pictures.
Master System too.
Well, actually, no. I can take pictures.
Okay.
I don't
Amazing.
know which games I have, but I know I have a Master System, and I'm fairly certain I have Phantasy Star in there.
Yeah, my first RPG was Beyond Oasis on Sega Mega Drive. It was a kind of a Zelda clone. You had this prince with a special armor, and you could summon different monsters. So it was nice. It's been recently remade for Android. but yeah, and then I moved to the PlayStation 1, and I lost my youth playing PlayStation games all the time.
Yeah, there's a feeling I know pretty well. Holy crap! Yeah, no. Let's see. What else did I wind up? What was your first RPG? There's a question. There's one for you.
I think this
Okay. This was that one, maybe. Actually, Beyond Oasis for Sega Mega Drive. But it was at my friend had it, not me. I wasn't lucky enough. And oh yeah, I know Vandal Hearts for PS. Do you know Vandal Hearts?
Yeah, I know Vandal Hearts. I don't actually have a copy of it anymore, believe it or not. I think
that was my first RPG.
My copy vanished in the hands of an ex-girlfriend, I think.
Okay, that sucks. That was my first game. It's a tactical RPG, and maybe the first JRPG was maybe Final Fantasy VII, or probably something similar.
Actually,
because I was 11.
I think my first proper RPG was the original Wizardry way back in the day. And yes,
okay,
I just dated myself, but screw it. Y'all know I'm an old boomer like critter anyway.
Same here. Mine was well, in North America it was called Dragon Warrior, but it's actually called Dragon Quest. Then a couple weeks after playing that, I got into the Final Fantasy, the original Final Fantasy.
Okay. Okay, so the first Dragon Quest. You mean the Dragon Quest series, the famous one?
Yeah, the Dragon Quest series, the very first one. You know, where you start out as.
No, I never played it. I was. Okay, let's see. It was made in 1986.
Yep.
And Nintendo 1989. Okay, I was 3 years old.
I'm old. I'm old.
No, that's okay.
Probably slightly older than me. Slightly.
Yeah, we've both had our share of.
Yep.
Okay, maybe another game I really liked, a Western RPG, but I already had played many games by then. It was Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate 2.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yes,
that was. It was.
The Dungeons and Dragons Gold Box games were another set that I actually liked pretty well. Pool of Radiance, Curse of the Azure Bonds, and some of the others.
I know them I know the series, but I never played them.
Actually, believe it or not, GOG has them now. GOG.com.
Really?
Yeah, they've got the whole set.
Yeah.
In fact, I have the entire set in my library.
They look like the kind of game I could play on mobile. That would be nice on mobile.
Well, I don't
but
know.
I guess it's only for PC.
Well, it was originally PC and Commodore 64, and Apple IIe. I want to say.
Amiga.
Yes, the Amiga. I apologize. It was the Amiga was. The Amigas were nice little machines. They were horrifyingly expensive.
I had one. I remember you turn it on and you had this pixelated picture of a hand holding a floppy disk, and you need to put disk inside. I remember some things. I was really small, but my father had one. So.
That was the that one there. I think was the A500, because I know the Amiga 2000 series, I think the 1200s all had hard drives. So usually didn't wind up with that much of a problem. You still had to have an update Kickstarter ROM. Those get expensive in a hurry.
I remember.
Yeah, no, my only experience with Amiga, and I was very jealous of my friend, was through a friend, and he was, can't remember how old I was, but I think I was in high school at the time, and he was using it to do ray tracing, and I was very impressed with what he was doing. But
actually, that wouldn't be ray tracing; it'd be vector mapping. Ray tracing is a much more recent thing.
Yeah. Well, he was rendering, whatever. I assumed it was the equivalent of ray tracing.
But actually, I don't have one Vita unit. I've got two. I've got one of the original run units that I bought brand new, without the 3G, and then I have a newer one that I really want to like destroy right about now. But the right on the newer slimline one, I've got the right stick is being wonky. It doesn't want to. It translates up and down when it feels like it, never when I tell it to. Hate it when that happens. Oh. So, one more question for you, and I think I'll let you go so you can get back to work if you want to.
Actually, it's almost midnight in Italy, so yeah, I'm quite tired.
Yeah, we should let him get to sleep.
Well, let me get this last question out here, and we can wrap this up. I think a tad on the early side. Your price point right now is $10.99, and I'm gonna pop up the Steam page for it here. Right here. You put this one up at $10.99. Do the thing I want you to do. Quit that.
Don't move around on you.
Well, I'd like it to actually scroll when I tell it to. So your price tag on this is $10.99. Why that number?
Well, the answer would be really easy because I made it in euros, not in dollars, and it's yes, and it's oh, by the way, Steam. I don't know if you knew it, but Steam has some fixed ranges, so you can input the number you want. You have to choose from presets, and I'm selling it for basically €9, $8.99.
Right.
So that's €9 for me. Sounded enough because
and $11 here in the US.
And that's a conversion, yes. So that's it. That's the idea. I think it's fair. I mean, it's a game that if you enjoy it, you can play it for over 100 hours. Maybe it gets boring after 50 hours, 40 hours, but come on, some games will ask you for $20, $30, and you can finish them maybe in a couple of days.
Well, I know I've paid good money for games that I've finished. I've paid $60 for AAA games that I want nothing to do with after about 5 to 10 hours.
Yes, I don't like that.
But then most of the games I'm talking about are the ones that are supposed to where you're supposed to go PvP all over it. You know, so what?
Okay.
Why do I want to go and play against a bunch of twerps? You know, I like a good story. Stories are excellent. Stories are outstanding.
So yes, that takes my big explanation on the price.
Well, if you ever decide to do a number 2, definitely. Well, at the very least, if Squirrel says no, come to me and I'll promote your. I'll definitely promote.
Of course, let's stay in touch, guys. Let's stay in touch. Maybe we can help each other, promote each other. I am here. I'm active almost everywhere. You know, Twitter. I have Facebook. So just my email. So let's stay in touch.
You could. Well, you already know where I'm at on Twitter and my email address, which is
of course, absolutely. So I'm open to all kinds of collaborations, videos. We can hang out. We can play games together. It's okay. We just have to match the time zones.
I know, right? Yeah, because that was actually kind of the problem. That was actually the problem we had today, because we've been I think we originally set this up like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it was gonna getting a time match was kind of a pain.
Yeah. So right now, what time is it for you?
I have 14:35.
Okay, because for me it's 23:35. meaning that we have a difference of what is 9 hours.
Something like that, yeah.
And I'm 15, and I'm 15:35.
Yeah, he's an hour ahead of me, so I don't actually have a problem bugging him at weird hours.
Yeah. No, he pretty much bugged me.
If we want to stream when it's around maybe 9 in the evening for you, I have to be online at 6 in the morning.
Wow.
Maybe during the holidays.
Well, yeah, I know, right? All right. So I think we're...
Okay, guys, thank you. Thank you so much.
Not a problem. Anytime. You are welcome back.
It was wonderful meeting you.
Absolutely. Nice to meet you. And once again, let's stay in touch.
Absolutely.
And thank you for having me.
Thank you for enjoying the game.
If you want to hang around for a few minutes after we go off the air here, we'll sit and chat and talk about additional copies for whatever. Because I'm pretty sure there's at least 2 or 3 people that would really love to have a copy of this game.
No problem. Absolutely.
Right.
I have a lot of sets for press and backers, so you can use them.
All right. Let me just.
Okay. Well, thanks.
All right. So I think that's about it for us today. Any final comments from anybody?
No, I'm good.
Going once, going twice. Sold. All right, guys. We'll catch you. We'll see you guys on Saturday. We got some PlayStation 4 games to get through, and there's some interesting stuff going on in there actually. Between now and the next time we see you, be safe, be sane,
and let's make games enjoyable like Dungeon Dreams again.
All right. See ya.